Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode on the TMJ podcast. Today we are addressing an issue that has been sparking quite some controversy over the internet, and it's about a real estate event here in Toronto that was promoting the sale of land in Israel. Today we are talking with Nicolette Habhab, who is a mother of two, a University of Toronto graduate, and a real estate agent who used to work with Keller Williams, a name that is shared by the same company advertising for the sale of land in Israel. We're going to talk about what exactly is happening. Thank you again, Nicolette, for being with us today. I really appreciate your time. The topic that we're actually exploring today is something that has recently, you could say, gone viral. And really quickly, the company Keller Williams itself went under fire because people made the association that you had a real estate company in Canada promoting the sale of land in Israel. And Keller Williams Energy is the company that you used to work for. Can you give us a little bit of the firsthand narration of what really is happening and whether the company that was actually selling or promoting the sale of land in Israel is the same one that you have been working for?
Yes. So Keller Williams is actually a large international real estate franchise. So anybody can buy the rights to the name and open a brokerage. So the brokerage that I was at was Keller Williams Energy, and it's independently owned and operated. So the event that happened, I just want to clarify too, this is something that some people don't exactly understand, is that when you're a real estate agent, you are licensed under a province or a state. So I live in Ontario and I'm licensed in Ontario. So if I want to trade real estate within Ontario, I can do that. If someone wanted to sell their home and then move to another province, I can help them sell their home here, but I cannot help them buy anything in another province. So initially, the event took place on a Sunday, and Monday morning, I was at the gym and I had the first initial one of the videos that was going viral sent to me. So my first reaction was, it can't be real. They can't be selling land in Israel here.
Right.
And it was a video of a man. He registered for the event. So he was, allowed to go to the event. And he went wearing a pro-Palestine hat. And once he got to the event, he was kind of met not very nicely by other
I
people.
actually saw the video. It was a pretty
Yes.
harsh and condescending reaction.
Yes. So my first reaction was, in the caption, it said a Keller Williams seminar was being
Right.
held at a synagogue. And I'm like, okay. I said, Keller Williams doesn't need to have a seminar
Right.
at a synagogue. Like this kid, and they're
How
selling
is
land
it
in
possible?
Israel. How?
Yeah.
So my first reaction was, there has to be an explanation for this.
So this was also news to you. You had no idea that this was even associated remotely with your company.
Yeah, I had no idea. Actually, nobody knew that this
Right.
event was going to take place. It's not like they got permission to do it.
Yeah.
It just happened. It was news to everybody. It was taken very seriously, the reaction. I can just speak for my brokerage. It was taken very seriously, just trying to figure out what happened, because it escalated very quickly and the response was very, well, you can imagine in this political climate, people are very angry. Gary Keller, who was one of the founders of Keller Williams, was getting death threats. Another person at Keller Williams who's big at Keller Williams, I can't remember who it was, also getting death threats. Police had to get involved because, protesters were attacked. So my first reaction was, can't be real. And I was just like, why would somebody in this political climate go to a synagogue in a pro-Palestine hat? Like, just why? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't understand what was happening at
Yeah.
all.
Well, from someone who was watching it, I think one of the things I tried to make sense of was he might have been doing it to really go see what is this event actually about, like
Yeah.
an insider look into, okay, how is it even legal for
Yes.
land in Israel to be sold from Canada?
Yes. So I 100% understood what he was trying to do after I was able to sit and watch the video. I get another video sent for me from my mom in the afternoon. And this is the same man in his car before going to the event. And
Right.
he's showing that he registered for the event, and it's a Keller Williams event. And it's very clearly stated on the paperwork that he's that he's taping.
Yeah.
And he's saying, they're selling land in Israel. I want to go and see what this is about. And I would like to buy land in Israel, which.
And yeah, just to clarify, was this land being sold in the occupied territories like the West Bank, or was there a specification on where exactly what part this land was?
In this video, he said that there was a certain city that was considered West Bank. So he
Yeah.
Googled it, and Google Map told him that it was in the West Bank. A full investigation was not shared with us as
Right.
to exactly what happened, details. So this man claims that this was on the paperwork. Was it really being sold? No idea. That was not
Yeah.
shared with anybody. A statement was put out by the brokerage that I work at. And Keller Williams also sent out a statement. And they said that they had nothing to do with that event.
Right.
And Keller Williams does do business in Israel. Keller Williams does exist in Israel,
So
which
I'm assuming it was the Israeli branch of Keller Williams that was hosting this.
so there is land for sale in Israel, and they're trying now. They set up this event. They made it in a synagogue. So they're obviously trying to attract Jewish people
Yeah.
to buy land in Israel. One of the cities was alleged to be in the West Bank. I understand that they're going to do that. That's their plan. They've been very vocal that they want to take over everything. They want to take over parts of Lebanon. They just think everything's theirs. So the fact that they're doing this wasn't exactly shocking. What is shocking is just so freely having an event and trying to attract people in North America, obviously Jews, because they're having it at a synagogue, and they're asking a man who is obviously not Jewish, who arrived at the event, who registered for the event, who has every right to be there, saying, "Are you Jewish? Why are you here?"
Yeah.
We have anti-discrimination laws. You cannot just have an
Absolutely.
event and only have it for Jews. And then the timing is absolutely insane.
I mean, yeah, and I think one of the biggest horrors that a lot of people are realizing is these posts about the settlements that Israelis were now planning to build in place of essentially the ruins that they left in Gaza, in the West Bank, and everywhere. And the horror that now I think a lot of people start facing is, what if this is the next phase of we're going to go as far as coming and selling land in the West Bank, in Canada, in the US, possibly even later on. And I think that's a very morbid and disturbing picture.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the audience, like why everyone's reactions were so confused, is how is this even legally possible? And how is it happening with almost zero legal intervention?
I do know that some type of police investigation went on. If they have land for sale in Israel under an Israeli real estate brand, they are allowed to sell. If they allow foreign buyers to buy, then that is something that is their laws. Like, for example, right now here, we're not allowed to sell to foreign buyers at the moment, just
Right.
due to the economy. So if Israel is allowing people to buy their land and it is being sold under an Israeli real estate brand, somebody from here could reach out to that real estate company in Israel and say, I would like to buy land. The event was very well set up. They had real estate based off of the advertising. They said they had information on how to send your money to buy the land. It was all set up. It was like a one-stop shop. You can buy land in Israel. We have all the resources that you would need, A, B, C, D.
But did you know if they actually were able to sell during that event?
I don't know. The group that put on this event, so they started in Toronto and they were advertising for New York and New Jersey cities there that they were going to continue. And they posted after saying that despite protesters, we were able to have a great event and all this kind of stuff.
Especially in the recent events that have been unfolding, this is a fear that a lot of people have been having, is what if, now that you've thrown Palestinians and made them refugees again in their own land, they no longer have any homes to even go back to. And now you're rebuilding there.
Unfortunately, this has been just a sick joke from the beginning. There was another agent that thought it was funny to, on his business page, post like flat land of rubble and say, coming soon, land near the ocean in Gaza, something like that. I can't remember what happened. That's not funny under any circumstances.
You said Keller Williams took measures to distance itself and say we were not the ones who actually organized this event. But
Yes.
you also said that you decided to part ways with the company. What kind of pushed your decision to stop working with them?
So it wasn't a hard decision once I made the decision. It was actually not a hard decision whatsoever. Trying to figure out what exactly happened in order to make my decision was the part that was difficult, because prior to this, I had no issues at Keller Williams and I was quite happy there. And I did not leave for anything other than I felt like this was wrong morally. The feelings I had there had changed completely. I was very vocal about pro-Palestine. I was always posting. I had my team leader. I had other agents at the brokerage. No issue. I never felt like I shouldn't. I went to talk to my team leader. And the whole time I was there and during the meeting, I felt extremely uncomfortable. So at this point, I had 4 people reach out to me and send me different things about what was happening. And
Right.
they associated, they're like, oh, I know you work with Keller Williams. When I heard Keller Williams, I thought of you. So let me send this to you. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling very uncomfortable now being associated with anything that has to do with this.
Yeah.
Although I know that my brokerage had nothing to do with it. It was an issue of the company's name and just something going on. It's a very large company. You
Do you
know,
think any aspect of your decision was influenced by peer pressure at all?
it wasn't peer pressure. It was, it did not feel right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, as a real estate agent, my sphere is who's going to buy something off of me, who's going to sell with me. If they think I'm with a horrible company and associate me with staying with something that was obviously so wrong, who's going to work with me? What happened was terrible. And just the thought that you could have an event like this and do this while there's a genocide going along and the indigenous people of that land are being massacred, and you think that it's a good time to have an event and just be like, let's migrate or invest in Israel. That is so wrong.
With everything that's been happening, what do you think Canadians and Americans, have you spoken to them about what they think about what happened or what their reactions have been?
Everybody kind of knew. I had people who reached out to me who said, I'm so sorry. And these are not people who are Muslim, Arab, anything. I'm so sorry. I heard this and this happened. It's terrible. I saw the videos. It was just, despicable. I had to have a conversation with my coach actually before I left. She said, I felt like you were weird on Tuesday. I said, well, this and this and this. She said, you know what? I didn't know really about what was happening in Palestine or Israel before. She said, ever since this war, I did my own research, and I've realized that just from the beginning, this was set up to happen.
Wow.
She said, now that this conflict has happened, I've done my own research and wanted to educate myself. And people are realizing this has opened a lot of people's eyes, and people are, pulling up their phone and doing their own research. It's really easy. It's really easy to figure things out. We have so much information available to us. It's ignorance is really not an excuse anymore.
100%. Well, again, thank you so much, Nicolette. I really appreciate you giving us your time. And I really hope that moving forward with your new job, hopefully even more people are, learn about what's really happening and kind of awaken to the reality of what's happening on the ground.
Thank you so much, Sada. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.